Have you ever wondered what Jesus really looked like? For centuries, artists and theologians have painted countless images, but what if a long-lost letter revealed his physical appearance in stunning detail? Imagine the shock of discovering Pontius Pilate's own account, a letter allegedly sent to Emperor Tiberius, describing not only the trial and crucifixion of Jesus but also rare, vivid details of his face and presence. This isn't just another story, it's a revelation that challenges everything you thought you knew about history and faith. Now, here's where things get even more intriguing. Pilate wasn't a believer, he was a Roman governor known for his pragmatism and political cunning. And yet, his words, if genuine, describe a man who defied all expectations. A tall figure with chestnut-colored hair, a radiant complexion, and a gaze that pierced through the soul. Could this letter be the missing link, a bridge between scripture and history, bringing us face to face with the man who changed the course of humanity? But here's the catch, this discovery isn't just about appearances. It's about unlocking a narrative hidden in the shadows of history, a story that unfolds with philosophical dialogues, cosmic phenomena, and events so profound they reshaped the world. Stick around, because what you're about to learn might just change how you see not only Jesus but the very foundations of belief itself. Imagine a letter so extraordinary that it transcends time, allegedly penned by Pontius Pilate himself. This wasn't your average political report, it was a gripping account of the trial, crucifixion, and rumored resurrection of a man who defied all conventions, Jesus of Nazareth. Pilate, a Roman governor known for his calculated demeanor, is said to have written to Emperor Tiberius with more than just facts. His words painted a vivid picture of a figure whose presence disrupted norms and challenged perceptions. Pilate's account, if genuine, reveals a glimpse of history that feels personal, raw, and unsettling. Pilate's letter offers rare physical details of Jesus, a dimension rarely seen in the Gospels. According to this document, Jesus was no ordinary man, his presence was magnetic, his gaze piercing yet comforting. Pilate describes him with an air of reverence, noting his profound wisdom and unshakable calmness even in the face of death. Such details don't just illuminate Jesus' character, they pull us into a world where divinity and humanity coexist, challenging us to rethink the boundaries between history and spirituality. The trial itself, as described by Pilate, carried an intensity that words struggled to capture. Imagine standing before a man who answers accusations with silence, whose humility commands the attention of even the most jaded hearts. Pilate recounts this with unease, describing how the crowd's fervor clashed with his inner turmoil. This moment wasn't just a legal proceeding, it was an intersection of power, faith, and destiny. Pilate's decision-making was not merely administrative, it was a test of conscience, one that echoes through centuries. What's fascinating is how Pilate portrayed Jesus' interactions with him. The exchanges weren't filled with anger or defense, but rather a calm clarity that left Pilate questioning his own authority. Jesus spoke of a kingdom not of this world, offering a vision that extended beyond the temporal. It said that Pilate struggled to reconcile this man's demeanor with the accusations against him. And isn't that a striking paradox? A figure accused of rebellion yet embodying peace in its purest form. The letter hints at an aftermath that Pilate could never have foreseen. While the crucifixion appeared to close the chapter, the story was far from over. Whispers of resurrection and empty tombs began circulating, shaking the very foundation of the Roman authority. Pilate's reflections, if indeed genuine, invite us into a narrative far greater than political intrigue, a narrative that bridges the human and the divine, setting the stage for an exploration of Jesus' physical presence and the profound mysteries that followed. Jesus is often depicted in art and scripture with symbolic imagery, but Pilate's alleged letter offers an unembellished description that feels strikingly human. It describes Jesus as a tall man with chestnut-colored hair flowing to his shoulders, framing a face that radiated serenity. His eyes, deep and penetrating, seemed to see into the soul, making those who met his gaze feel both exposed and comforted. This image challenges the traditional, often idealized portrayals and brings a sense of realism to a figure who walked among the people. What stands out in this description is the blend of humility and majesty in his appearance. Pilate noted Jesus' radiant complexion and commanding presence, qualities that made him impossible to ignore in a crowd. This wasn't about wealth or royal attire, his presence was rooted in authenticity. It's easy to imagine how such a figure could draw multitudes, not through spectacle but through a quiet yet undeniable magnetism that resonated deeply with those seeking truth and hope. Even the smallest details seem to carry weight. Pilate mentions Jesus' hands, which he describes as strong yet gentle, a craftsman's hands, familiar with labor but also capable of healing. This duality reflects Jesus' earthly vocation as a carpenter and his divine role as a healer and teacher. It's a reminder that his life bridged the physical and spiritual, offering a model of service that we can aspire to emulate in our own lives. This vivid description has inspired countless discussions about his physicality and its symbolic meaning. Could his outward appearance have mirrored his inner purity and strength? It's worth pondering how our own presence, how we carry ourselves and interact with others, can leave a lasting impression. Jesus' appearance, as described by Pilate, suggests that greatness isn't about grandeur but about how one embodies grace and integrity in every detail. Pilate's portrayal leaves us with an image that lingers long after the words are read. It's not just about how Jesus looked but what his presence conveyed, a sense of peace, purpose, and transcendence. This physical depiction sets the stage for understanding the profound impact Jesus had on those who encountered him, including Pilate himself, whose interactions with Jesus reveal the depths of wisdom and humility that defined this extraordinary figure. Pontius Pilate's encounters with Jesus were anything but ordinary. As a Roman governor, Pilate was accustomed to handling rebels, criminals, and political dissenters, but Jesus didn't fit into any of those categories. Standing before Pilate, Jesus exuded a calmness that disarmed the tension in the room. Pilate expected defiance or fear, yet he found neither. Instead, Jesus' silence and composed demeanor spoke louder than words, leaving an impression that would linger in Pilate's mind far beyond their brief interactions. One particular moment of their exchange often stands out, when Pilate asked, "What is truth?" It's a question that resonates through the ages, one we all ask at some point in our lives. Pilate, a man of authority and reason, was momentarily stripped of his confidence by Jesus' wisdom. Although Jesus didn't offer a direct answer, his very presence seemed to embody truth itself, a truth so profound it couldn't be confined to words. This encounter challenges us to reflect on how we seek and recognize truth in our own lives. Pilate's wife, too, was affected by these events, warning her husband to avoid condemning Jesus after experiencing a troubling dream. This adds another layer of intrigue, suggesting that even those on the periphery of Jesus' presence were impacted in ways they couldn't fully explain. Pilate, torn between political pressure and an inexplicable sense of unease, found himself grappling with forces far beyond his control. These encounters weren't just personal, they were cosmic in their implications. Imagine what it must have been like to stand face to face with someone who carried an unshakable sense of purpose, someone who bore the weight of destiny with quiet strength. Pilate described Jesus as noble, humble, and unwavering, qualities that made it nearly impossible to reconcile with the accusations against him. It's a reminder that true leadership isn't about power or dominance but about integrity and conviction, even in the face of adversity. Pilate's interactions with Jesus left him at a crossroads, caught between his duties as a governor and the profound impression left by this enigmatic figure. Though he ultimately yielded to the demands of the crowd, it's clear from his reflections that Jesus was unlike anyone he had ever encountered. These impactful moments set the stage for what would come next, cosmic events that would shake the very foundations of the world. The crucifixion of Jesus wasn't merely a historical event, it was accompanied by cosmic phenomena that left witnesses in awe and terror. Pilate's alleged letter vividly recounts the moment the skies darkened at midday, an unsettling contrast to the routine clarity of the Judean sun. Imagine the panic as an inexplicable shadow fell over the land, a phenomenon that no natural explanation could satisfy. It was as if creation itself mourned, echoing the gravity of the moment through the heavens. This darkness wasn't just an eerie spectacle, it carried a weight that pierced the hearts of all who experienced it. The Gospel accounts mention the veil of the temple tearing from top to bottom, an act symbolic of a seismic shift in spiritual order. Pilate reportedly described how the earth quaked and stones split, as if the very ground beneath them could no longer contain the tension of the events unfolding. These signs weren't subtle, they demanded attention, leaving no doubt that something extraordinary was happening. Witnesses spoke of an atmosphere thick with unease, a silence punctuated by the cries of the crowd and the distant rumble of the earth. Pilate himself is said to have remarked on the strange stillness that followed the chaos, a moment where time seemed to stand still. It wasn't just a crucifixion, it was an event that transcended the natural and entered the realm of the supernatural. Even hardened soldiers reportedly whispered among themselves, questioning if they had just executed a man, or something more. These events have captivated imaginations for centuries, fueling debates about their meaning and significance. Were they a sign of divine intervention? A cosmic acknowledgement of the gravity of humanity's actions? Pilate's reflections capture the sense of bewilderment felt by everyone present, from the bystanders to the officials. It's not every day that nature itself seems to rebel, as if unable to remain neutral in the face of such monumental events. What makes these occurrences even more fascinating is their ripple effect, stretching beyond the moment and into the days to come. As rumors began to spread about the resurrection, the memory of these cosmic signs added fuel to the fire. It's almost as if these events were a prelude, preparing the world for the shockwaves of what was yet to come. And isn't that the nature of mystery? It leaves us yearning to understand, setting the stage for the resurrection rumors that would soon ignite even greater intrigue. Pilate's conversations with Jesus, as recounted in his letter, offer a glimpse into the profound and often enigmatic nature of their exchanges. One of the most striking moments came when Jesus said, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's." At first glance, it seems like a simple statement, but its depth is undeniable. It drew a line between earthly power and divine authority, leaving Pilate to ponder the delicate balance between the two. Even today, this teaching challenges us to reflect on how we prioritize our lives, balancing the temporal with the eternal. These dialogues reveal Jesus' ability to disarm with wisdom rather than confrontation. Pilate, a man accustomed to wielding authority, found himself in an unusual position, not leading the conversation, but being led by it. Jesus didn't argue or defend himself, instead, he spoke with a clarity that left Pilate searching for answers to questions he didn't even know he had. It's a reminder that true wisdom doesn't shout, it invites. And isn't that the kind of influence we all aspire to have, one that inspires change through understanding rather than force? Pilate's letter hints at the philosophical weight of these exchanges, describing how Jesus spoke of a kingdom not of this world. Imagine the challenge this posed to a man whose life revolved around the politics and power of Rome. Pilate, though outwardly composed, was likely shaken by the idea of a kingdom defined not by borders or armies but by values that transcended human systems. It's a vision that still resonates, urging us to consider what kind of legacy we're building, one grounded in fleeting achievements or enduring principles. Even the brevity of their conversations left a lasting impact. Pilate's letter suggests that every word Jesus spoke was laden with meaning, challenging conventional wisdom and reframing the very concept of authority. This wasn't just a legal trial, it was a dialogue that touched on the nature of truth, justice, and purpose. Pilate may not have fully understood what he was witnessing, but he knew it was unlike anything he had encountered before. And isn't that the hallmark of wisdom? It lingers, quietly working on the heart and mind long after the moment has passed. As Pilate wrestled with these profound ideas, he faced a decision that would reverberate through history. The philosophical weight of their dialogue was only a precursor to the even more staggering reports that would follow, the rumors of resurrection that would challenge the very fabric of reality. And in those whispered stories, the questions Pilate grappled with would find new urgency and new life. After the crucifixion, whispers began to spread, rumors of an empty tomb and sightings of Jesus alive. For Pilate, these reports must have been as unsettling as they were intriguing. Imagine the scene: soldiers scrambling to explain the unexplainable, religious leaders trying to contain the narrative, and an air of tension gripping Jerusalem. Pilate's letter reportedly hints at his unease, as though he knew this was no ordinary case of grave robbery or rumor-mongering. Something deeper was at play, something that defied all reason. The first accounts came from the women who visited the tomb, only to find it open and empty. Their testimony was met with skepticism, but it quickly gained traction as more individuals claimed to have seen Jesus. Pilate, ever the pragmatist, likely questioned the reliability of these accounts, yet the sheer volume of reports was impossible to ignore. Eyewitnesses described Jesus not as a ghost or vision but as flesh and blood, walking and talking with the same authority they remembered. It's a detail that challenges even the most hardened skeptic. These resurrection rumors didn't just stir the local populace, they posed a direct threat to Roman and Jewish authorities. Pilate, who had already faced pressure during the trial, now found himself at the center of a controversy that refused to die down. If Jesus was truly alive, what did that mean for the power structures of the day? Pilate's reflections in his letter suggest a man caught between disbelief and the nagging sense that he had underestimated the significance of the man he condemned. And isn't that a relatable feeling, realizing too late the gravity of a decision? The aftermath of these rumors was as chaotic as it was transformative. Pilate noted the unease among his own soldiers, who reportedly guarded the tomb but couldn't explain its vacancy. Some claimed bribery, others divine intervention, but the truth remained elusive. Pilate's position as governor required him to maintain order, yet this unfolding mystery seemed to slip through the cracks of logic and control. It's a scenario that forces us to confront our own uncertainties. What do we do when faced with evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew? These rumors were more than just stories, they were the seeds of a movement that would grow into a global faith. For Pilate, they marked the beginning of a legacy tied forever to this enigmatic figure. But the resurrection wasn't merely an ending, it was a spark, igniting questions and possibilities that lead us to the historical connections underpinning this narrative, including archaeological evidence that links Pilate's role to tangible history. For centuries, Pilate's role in the crucifixion of Jesus was a subject of theological reflection but lacked substantial historical validation. That changed with the discovery of the Pilate stone in 1961, a limestone block unearthed in Caesarea Maritima bearing an inscription with Pilate's name and title. This find, though seemingly simple, sent ripples through both historical and religious communities. It confirmed Pilate's existence as the Roman governor of Judea, bridging the gap between biblical accounts and tangible history. The inscription on the stone reads, Pontius Pilate, prefect of Judea, solidifying his position as a historical figure, not just a character from religious texts. For believers and skeptics alike, this evidence opened a new avenue of exploration, proving that the people and events described in Scripture were rooted in reality. It's remarkable how a single artifact can reshape our understanding, grounding ancient narratives in physical proof that withstands the scrutiny of time. Archaeology often plays the role of mediator between faith and skepticism. The Pilate stone reminds us that history and Scripture can coexist, weaving a richer narrative when viewed together. Imagine standing before that stone, feeling the weight of its significance. It's not just a relic, it's a touch point, connecting us to a moment in time when Pilate faced a decision that would echo through the ages. Artifacts like this bridge the gap between past and present, inviting us to consider the human stories behind historical events. What makes the Pilate stone particularly compelling is its implications for Pilate's letter. If his role as governor is verified, could the letter he allegedly wrote carry similar authenticity? While scholars debate its origins, the existence of the Pilate stone gives credence to the possibility that Pilate recorded his reflections, as Roman officials often did. This interplay between historical evidence and textual claims keeps the story alive, sparking curiosity and dialogue across generations. The discovery of the Pilate stone isn't just about validating a name, it's about anchoring a narrative in reality. It shows us that the figures we read about weren't merely mythical, they were real people navigating complex roles in turbulent times. And isn't that what makes history so captivating? It brings the extraordinary into focus, reminding us that behind every grand event lies a trail of evidence waiting to be uncovered. This artifact leaves us with a sense of wonder and anticipation, urging us to explore deeper into the mysteries surrounding Pilate and his interactions with Jesus. So, after uncovering these extraordinary details, what will you do with this knowledge? Pilate's account invites us to see Jesus in a new light, not just as a figure of faith but as a presence so profound it altered history itself. Are you ready to let this discovery reshape the way you approach your own spiritual journey? What if this deeper understanding could spark a transformation in your life, the kind that rewrites your story with purpose and conviction? If these revelations have stirred something within you, don't let it end here. Take the next step. Dive deeper into the teachings, explore the mysteries, and embrace the wisdom that has stood the test of time. To help you on this journey, I've created a resource packed with insights and practical steps to enrich your faith. The Christian Journey, Exploring the Bible in 27 Steps ebook is your guide to unlocking these profound truths in your own life. You'll find the link pinned in the comments. Take a look and see if it speaks to your soul. Thank you for being part of this exploration. If you want to keep growing in faith and uncovering the hidden treasures of the Bible, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Together, we can continue this journey of discovery. Until next time, may you walk with purpose and let these truths illuminate your path.